So I like to think of my mental health journey as a dance through life. I've been dancing for as long as I can remember, starting my official training at the ripe old age of 2. When my teachers noticed potential in me, we decided to move from a small local studio to a professional training center in Atlanta. While I honed in on my technique, surrounded by much talent and skill, I also was missing one key component, which was confidence. As you can imagine, this seeped into every area of my life. All this pressure that I put on myself to look, act, and be a certain way took a toll on my body, mind, and soul. In 2018, I finally had my breakdown in a small doctor's office, holding a toddler in one arm and a baby in the other, knowing that this reaction to life was truly no way to live. Now, 6 years later, our family has navigated through depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and all that comes with it. My hope in sharing this story is that as works of art and works in progress, you can come to find your rhythm through the dance of life sooner than I could. So my doctor did refer me to a behavioral therapist and a psychiatrist who started me on a medication to help manage the anxiety, which showed me that there was a better way to live. The perfectionist tendencies in me wanted things to be better right away, and I've come to learn that I really need to respect myself and give myself the time that it takes to change these limiting beliefs. It's truly about the journey, not the destination. I've used 5 elements of dance to help explain what tools have helped me over my healing journey. The first is body, the second is action, and dance, the dance of space, time, and energy. As dancers, our body is our instrument, and when our instruments are out of alignment and out of tune, this manifests itself in the way of dysfunction and disease. Of course, many factors do contribute to our body dynamics, such as environmental factors, genetic conditions, access to healthy foods, exercise, and nature, and yet much of it is mind over matter. When we truly believe that we're worthy and capable of moving through life in a healthy body, our action steps will reflect that core belief. On this journey, I've also discovered that I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is an inherited disorder that affects connective tissue. This condition has led to chronic pain and a myriad of issues, and I have learned to respect myself enough to listen and follow my body's needs, as this is the only one I've got after all. In taking care of my body, I've used body work techniques such as massage, chiropractic care, emotional freedom tapping, acupressure, breath work, you name it, I've probably tried it. I also fuel my vessel with nourishing foods like fruits and vegetables, proteins, not seeing it as a limitation, but rather as an opportunity to take care of this beautiful body that God has given me. Movements such as dance and walking, yoga, and swimming are my preferred ways to move, and finding the way that you love to move best in your body is truly what makes a difference. In terms of number 2, action, I take inspired action when I feel called. Sometimes I question and argue with God about where I feel God is calling me. For example, about a year ago, I felt called to hone in on my public speaking skills, which despite my major hesitations in that regard. And here I am today interviewing with you, knowing that the only one holding myself back was me. Realizing that with God, truly all things are possible. So taking inspired action steps towards healing and trusting that health is wealth and being able to feel free in the body and mind is freedom in life. The third element is space. Space is something that I still struggle with, as I often do not leave enough space in my schedule. It's kind of like the airplane oxygen mask example, and I've learned that no one except God is going to take care of me like I can, and I have to give myself enough space and time to take care of myself before helping others. This leads me into the time aspect of the elements, which is another precious gift. A resource that we often take for granted, myself included. When we can learn to live in the moment and be present, worries seem to fade. Checking in with how you're feeling, even putting your hand on your heart and feeling the rhythm of life that God's given us. We don't have to think about beating our hearts, but it just does. And taking deep breaths to be in the moment. Pause and just reflect on how all the world around you is a gift, truly, and we can be in the moment with God. The present is where God lives, where we can truly live too. And 5, life is energy. God's love is energy flowing through us, and we are the vessels, literally his hands and feet on this earth. So we take the energy and the gifts and the talents and the strengths that he's given us, especially the weaknesses, where he uses those for the better. All things truly do work better for good and for God's glory, and we take the lessons learned along the way and use them as opportunities to grow, transform, and align our hearts closer to Christ. Early on in my journey, it was really hard on myself, not feeling that I didn't have enough faith to overcome these crippling anxieties. I wondered what was wrong with me, as I often felt so anxious about everything. With a religious upbringing, I knew many Bible verses, such as, "Be anxious for nothing, do not worry, cast your fears," to paraphrase, and yet I felt like it consumed me. I felt I was too blessed to be stressed and depressed, yet I didn't know how to embrace these blessings and stressors at the same time. God is always pulling on our hearts and drawing us closer to unconditional love. I realized quite recently, actually, that surrendering is truly the only way to live. That's faith. The faith that Christ modeled for us as he truly surrendered his one wild and precious life for us on the cross. That's putting our faith in something that we don't know exactly how it's going to look or what it's going to be like. But the true act, that act of surrendering body, mind, and soul to the source of life, our Creator, is life-changing. And his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Therefore, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And this truly changes everything. Peace out, y'all.